Hello and welcome to a new video on the Stringmatrix channel. Before we start talking about today's strings, I just wanted to let you know that I recorded a CD as a band leader of a quartet. The CD is called Stories of Friendship. And if you're interested to order one, just send me an email. The address is in the description below. But back to the strings. Well, on this CD I do play gut strings, but not the strings that I'm going to present today. So on the last video we talked about the Gold Springs Synthetic by Aquila, and in this video we are going to talk about the Gold Springs Vintage, which are commercialized by Aquila as being an exact replica of the Kaplan Golden Spirals. So we are just talking about the G and the D string. The A and E string, of course, I'm going to play these two, but these are the same strings that you heard in the last video, the series 22 A and E strings by Aquila. So basically the only difference between the Gold Springs Synthetic and the Gold Springs Vintage is that the Gold Springs Vintage have a core made of natural gut. The winding is exactly the same. It's a synthetic winding which is flat. So let's listen. My opinion about the Gold Springs Vintage. Well, I must say that I was really surprised because the difference between the Gold Springs Synthetic and the Gold Springs Vintage is not as big as I would have thought. Still, I would say that the sound is a little bit more natural, a little bit more round, has this a little bit more of this typical gut thump, but it's really only a very slight difference. But still, one thing is different, and this is the fact that the Gold Springs Vintage are easier to bow than the Gold Springs Synthetic. So the sound is a little bit nosy or nasal. I don't know how you say in English. A little bit And And sometimes I also encountered the problem that my bow was gliding or sliding over the string. But I had the feeling that this happened a lot less than with the Gold Springs synthetic. So this is really a positive thing about these strings. So there is not much more that I can say about these strings. Most of the things that I said about the G and D Gold Springs synthetic apply also to the Gold Springs vintage. The tension is maybe a little bit lower on the vintage. I'm not sure. It was just my personal impression. So I'd really be interested to hear what you think. Did you hear a big difference between the vintage and the synthetic version? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for today. A little shorter video this time. But of course I'm going to play a solo tune for you at the end. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give me a like, and see you very soon. Bye bye.